having proclaimed that gospel, it appears to me that John the Baptist is not the type of guy you want to invite to your holiday style show. So why do I think that? Well, in the first three readings, we hear of the blossoming of flowers, of children playing with lions, of the glory of an everlasting kingdom, and the fulfillment of God's promises. We hear these beautiful words, these gracious words. But then we get to the gospel. And John the Baptist, he calls the Sadducees, he calls them a brood of vipers. He tells them that God is like an axeman, and he's at the foot of the tree, and he's about to chop it down. That there is going to be an unquenchable fire that we will not escape. And so, I imagine, at the holiday style show, somebody says, what beautiful clothing, what delicious food. And John replies, what beautiful clothing, what delicious food. That finery will rot away, and the food will turn into ash in your mouth on the day of the coming of the Lord. Beware, prepare. It's like, okay, John, calm down, John, please. So John the Baptist, he seems very harsh. He seems uncompromising in our readings today. And that can seem very much at odds with how we think about and experience Christmas. Harsh, uncompromising. These are not the words I use when I think about Christmas, when I describe Christmas. And yet, brothers and sisters, we are all called to be John the Baptist. And so, what more can we say about John the Baptist? Well, the fathers of the church, they tell us that John the Baptist is the forerunner before Christ. That whenever Christ comes, John goes before him. And so, John was conceived in a miraculous way before Christ was. John's birth was received with joy before Christ's was. John, he engaged in ministry to the suffering, to the poor, before Christ did. John, he was faithful to God despite outside pressure before Christ was. And John, he was put to death for his fidelity to God before Christ hung on the tree. And so whenever Christ comes, John goes before him. John prepares the way. He makes straight the path. He prepares us to receive Christ. And he didn't just do that in the past, but he still comes before Christ. The church tells us that whenever any prophetic oracle is proclaimed in the liturgical assembly of these days, we hear the echo of John's voice. John still comes before Christ. John still tells us to prepare for his coming. And this coming of Christ, it didn't just happen back 2,000 years ago, but it is still happening today, and it is going to happen in a definitive manner at the end of time. And so this time of Advent, it's not just a preparation for the memorial of Christ's first coming, but it's also a preparation for his coming in every day, and a preparation for his coming at the end of time. And so we are called to be like John the Baptist. We are called to prepare for this coming. How do we do that? Well, here we have the giving tree. And when it was first set up, it was covered with tags. And look at it now. As a church community, we have taken these tags, we have bought or are in the process of buying gifts in order to help out those who are worse off than us. And we do this because in our country there's a gap between those who have and those who have not have less. And so in our charity, in our generosity, we have filled in this gap, this valley. We have made straight the path. We have prepared for Christ's coming at Christmas. God be praised. How else can we prepare? Well, John the Baptist, he was a man of the desert, of solitude, of silence. We can prepare by entering deeper into silence. I know already on the radio, so many stations are playing Christmas music. And so how about, as we drive around, continuing our errands, how about we turn off the radio? We stay in silence in the car, and we think about the blessings of the day and the challenges of the day. And then we thank God for his blessings, and we ask for his help with the challenges. we open our hearts to receive him as he comes to us in every day. John the Baptist, he also spoke about God. And we have heard his voice proclaimed here in our liturgy today. And so we know that just as John has come to us, Christ is coming to us here at this Mass. How about we tell somebody about it? Whether something from the homily or from the readings stood out to you, made an impact, whether as you came up to receive Christ in the Eucharist, you had a particular thought, a particular emotion. However God comes to you today in this Mass, tell somebody about it. Maybe the people who are with you at Mass, or maybe somebody you're going to meet for breakfast afterwards. Tell somebody about it. Share Christ's coming with them. Be like John the Baptist. Brothers and sisters, Christ never comes without being preceded by John the Baptist. And so if we desire Christ to come to us here and now, as we celebrate Christmas, and at the end of time, we need to take up John's mantle. We must prepare for Christ's coming. And brothers and sisters, if we do this, then we shall be known as children of Abraham and as children of God the Most High.